audio only. Nobody really knows how to play the game here, and this is the very first time I'm ever trying to run it, and I've only played it once. But to show how simple it is, it's labeled as a one page, but you got to use both sides of the page for it to be a one page RPG. But yeah, the primer on doves and demons, right? I don't know if you read this part yet, but there's this little paragraph. I know somebody's watching Caso Cerrado. Could you just mute for a minute?
Yeah, I was about to say, who's got that TV out in the back?
Yeah. So the primer on doves and demons is as follows. You are members of an organization that fights against an endless plague of monsters every night. A new apocalypse is unleashed on the world, and demons, ghouls, devils, fallen angels, and other twisted creatures boil up from hell. After centuries of fighting, most civilizations have fallen. Few havens are left. It is up to you to choose how you fight, emulate the sacred dove, and wield the fragmented knowledge of divine miracles. Or become a demon and tear your enemies apart. Whatever your choice, seek out Old Hunter Braun for your next mission. So this is not the end of the world. It's kind of already ended. You're projecting the last vestiges of humanity and whatever monogam of hope may exist. To create a character in Doves and Demons is a short process. One thing that all players will require is a D10, is 3 D10s, actually. So when creating your characters, you choose a style for your character. On the second page of the one-page RPG, it has a description of what these words mean, right? But you choose to be either ancient, cunning, cursed, edgy, merciless, non-human, pure, sexy, or weird. So just give a look over for what kind of characters, what type of character or style of character you want to play.
I already know I'm going with sexy.
Oh boy. So sexy. You
I
somehow
don't know
make
how
the
does sexy
apocalyptic
work.
You somehow make the apocalyptic monster hunter work for you. Even when splattered in gore, you turn heads. Oh my gosh. Quick question, I have to ask this. Are you going to be a sexy dude, a sexy female, or something androgynous?
No, I'm actually playing a female character.
Okay. Do you know your character's name already?
Sarah McKnight.
Holy hell. Sarah McKnight. I don't know why, but I got like the Knight Rider, the woo woo after you said that. It sounds like you know your character.
That's really just about it. I was gonna take her role and stuff based off of what everybody else chose.
All right. So Corey and
I'm
Josh.
really stuck here.
All right.
I really want to be weird because I'm weird in real life,
All right.
and then I just want to be edgy at the same time because it's an anime character.
I mean, you can choose something as your core and still play it. You know, work it into how you roleplay.
Let's just go with edgy.
So you're edgy. So
Sure.
you're broody, filled with angst and self-loathing. Teenagers love you, and the darkness of the world doesn't really mean much. You're an anime character. Okay, so Josh, do you have an idea of what your character's name is yet, or no?
Not at the moment. I kind of want to be the jerk in the group and just call him Tutti Frutti, but
Oh God.
just give me a little bit and I'll try to figure something out. This was very on the spot for me.
Yeah, everything about this game is on the spot. I don't even know what
Dude,
I'm
his
playing yet.
has to be Tutti Frutti now. It has to be. There's no way you
Fine.
can't be.
Fine, we'll go with Tutti Frutti
You
as
said it.
my character's name.
Wow. This is horrifying.
My character loves your name.
So
I mean, let's face it. if anything, we can go. You know, if I ever actually end up dying, we can go. We can all just make a mission, go to save Tutti Frutti. We can go. You know, if I ever.
That's wonderful when that kind of stuff happens. So, Corey, looking over the styles of play, you see something that you enjoy yet?
I think I'm digging on that non-human thing.
Non-human?
Mm-hmm. I see it here. You aren't human. You may be an elf, a dwarf, a tiefling, a hellforged AI, or something else, but it isn't human, whatever it is.
All right, non-human. Oh my gosh.
It is certainly I am certainly a hellforged AI.
So let me just write that down. Hellforged, jeez. AI. All right, so the next step in the process is to choose your role. And the roles are as follows: the alchemist, artificer, berserker, cleric, illusionist, necromancer, mastermind, slayer, or warlock.
I was just reading over that, and I think I'm gonna go with necromancer.
So you're a
Like, I
sexy.
kinda-
How did I
Yeah.
know you would have all people would choose necromancer?
I know, right?
You
It's-
hell bent bastard.
well, oh yeah, no, especially once like really start getting into it, because kind of picturing this like really sexy redhead, and she likes playing with dead bodies.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
I don't think we need to read the description for necromancer. It's pretty self-explanatory. But dang. I actually
Yeah,
played
I-
necromancer in my one game that I played. Dude, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say if we were gonna keep choosing, I think I'm gonna go Slayer.
Slayer.
Yeah.
So through your technique and experience, you kill things better than anyone else. You know how to hunt 1,000 different creatures 1,000,000 different ways.
Yep.
And I think I might go. Man, I'm really stuck here between Artifier and Master. I'm really stuck here. I kind of want to be an Artifier. The second one, Artifier.
Artificer?
Yeah, or a Mastermind. Both of those just kind of seem interesting to me. I'll be an Artifier.
Artificer. You're a tech guy. then.
Artificer. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
All right, so we have, what is it? The sexy necromancer, the edgy. Oh, I got everyone's thing wrong. I'm so special today.
What are you going with, Josh? I'm sorry, I missed that. You're going with Artificer?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a edgy Artificer.
Interesting.
So we have a hellforged slayer, a sexy necromancer, and an edgy artificer. And now we choose organizations. We choose 2 labels for your guys' organization. Where you guys come from?
So we choose 2.
Yes.
Let's see. Well, I think advanced weaponry makes total sense because we have the artificer in our group.
You have an artificer and an AI.
Yeah, we're definitely advanced weaponry.
So what does everyone else think?
I think creative might be interesting for us. Oh wait,
Yeah.
hold on, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah,
No, you're looking at the right thing.
creative, right under it.
So we get to choose 2 as a group or
As a group.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely advanced weaponry.
All right, so that
Good
Um,
with that.
So you definitely have advanced weaponry. And what does everyone else think about creative?
Just to read it off, it's your organization can create weird plans that seem to somehow work and come up with inventive ways to trap and ambush monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I'm okay with that.
So you have creative and advanced weaponry. Essentially, what this does is, like when you're prepping for stuff or you're taking actions in games, if you do so in a way that is indicative of how you guys in your organization act, by utilizing advanced weaponry or trying to come up with really creative ways of dealing with a situation, that gives you, an additional die to roll. Normally, you would only roll 1, and depending on how you approach the situation, you can get up to 2 additional die to roll.
Hence the 3d10. Nice.
Yeah. Let's
Makes sense.
let me just switch over to the first page. Oh,
So
the first
then how
side of the
does-
page.
So then how does health work?
There isn't any health. This is entirely narrative. This is a shared story between all 4 of us. And if your character would conceivably, die narratively, then that's something that would happen. It basically works on an honor system.
Okay, makes sense.
It's whatever's the most awesome for the story. The next step would be to choose your names, but we have Tutti Frutti, Sarah McKnight, and XY943. Now, normally you would choose a character.
No, wait.
Yeah.
You missed a character. It's XY star 943.
Oh, I have to say the star one?
But it's a symbol of a star, not the word star.
You know what I think? You know what I envision for this Hellforged AI? I think maybe he's a little bit a Hellforged item isn't all there. So it's like my name is X4943,
Don't you worry, I got something for this.
Okay. Next would be to choose your number. Your number is like your stat. It's the one and only stat you will be using in the game. Depending on the number you choose, your character will be a dove or a demon. The lower your number, the closer to demon your character is. The higher your number, the closer to dove your character is. Essentially, that means the first paragraph, the introductory paragraph. A dove is like a paragon of, humanity, savior. That's like the really good guy. Think I would say Captain America before he became a Nazi, but that Captain America, the old school Superman, the really good
That's not
guys,
us.
right?
That's not us.
And then
Period.
and then there's the demon. You're thinking of the Darkness or Spawn, or maybe Lobo or Evil Ernie. Those would be demons in this world. They kind of work towards some benefit because they're in some way, shape, or form odd members of mankind still, but they're just really dark and violent and just definitely anti-heroes at best. So, I mean, Corey, you already sound like what number you want to choose.
I want. Can I pick 10?
No, the range, you can't pick 10 because then you would have no chance of ever getting a dove roll. No successes.
Okay.
Right. You have to choose between 2 and 9.
I'll pick a 6.
All right. So you're kind of a dove.
No, I pick 7. You know what I mean? I want to be closer to the dark side, but
Oh,
I
being
guess if
closer
we
to
need
the
to double
dark
up,
side
then
is a lower number.
a lower number. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm on a 3
numbers-
then.
Yeah. All right. So a 3. I was gonna say that was pretty interesting to have like a hell forged good guy.
Yeah, no.
All right. So you're a 3. That's not the lowest you could be, but it's pretty low. All right. So you're a demon. What about Tutti Frutti? Do you know what Tutti Frutti is?
Tutti Frutti's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Just because the whole definition of edgy is like the darkness of the world doesn't mean much to him. I'd say he's definitely one of the higher numbers, so I'll probably say like 6.
Ooh. So you're on the dove side of neutral.
I mean, you can't be a demon and not really care. You know, you'd be a part of the darkness if you were.
All right.
Although I guess that would be an interesting part of the roleplay is to be the reason why you don't care about the darkness because you are the darkness.
Yeah.
There is nothing to fear of the dark, for you are the baddest motherfucker there.
All right, you know what? That made me want to change. I'm a 4.
Okay. So you're on the demon side of neutral.
And I'll tell you what, if Sarah's anything but a low number, that is a travesty to you being a necromancer.
Oh no, she's a 3. That's a 3.
Okay, so we have
So we
a
got 2
group,
3s and a 4.
a
Nice.
group of creative, advanced weaponry wielding demons.
Oh, and give me 1 second, and I'll show y'all pretty much what y'all are looking at.
Oh no. You know what? You're not gonna pull up the Dragon's Call game, right? Yeah, no, that's not it. All right.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm about to say that would be. Never mind. I didn't say anything. Don't even Google anything like that. We'll move right along. All right. So, for your organization, pick one problem. The problems are recklessly efficient, people always die, but the job gets done. Few members, if one of you die, the organization will collapse. Ragtag rookies, not much information about the creatures you face. Or haunted. There is a curse or haunting on your organization and its members.
Man, those are some good ones.
Or smooth jazz. You can probably
Or iconic TV show intros.
This is
I think
completely not my thing. My wife's watching TV in the background. I'm sorry.
lies. It's all
And
lies.
every time I turn on my mic, it's either Caso Cerrado or Law and Order.
yeah.
Yeah,
As long as Judge Judy doesn't come on in the background, we'll still be friends.
Sooner or later, it's gonna
Yeah,
fit the
awesome
scenario
life.
so well.
yeah, it
He's
is.
gonna pop up and it's gonna
Eventually.
boom,
All right. So what
All right.
what problem does your guys' organization have?
I
I
kind
definitely
of think
think
it's
that
the 3 of
Reckless-
us.
Go ahead.
I was just saying I kind of feel like it's the 3 of us. That's it.
Yeah,
no-
I was a little stuck between either it just being the 3 of us and that's it, or we're cursed. One of the two.
All right. So that's 2 votes for few members. There's so few members. You have the 3 of
I'm
you.
good with that.
And maybe like a mystery member if he shows up.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Or maybe we just have a mentor. No, so there's 4 of us, like you said. There's a mentor to us, and then the 3 of us who are his lackeys.
All right, so you have few members. Jeez. If one of you die, your organization will collapse.
And whatever. It's a paycheck.
Maybe that's the very reason why this exists. It's our final story of the organization that we're a part of.
Let's
Not
see
bad.
how. Let's see the direction that your final story takes. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I'm gonna have to roll 4 times on this random table to see what we're all doing, what you guys will be facing. Right. So give me a minute to check that up.
All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick while you're doing that.
No problem.
I should probably fill up my cup, seeing as this is going to be a very interesting game. I might as well get a Tutti Frutti mindset.
I'm gonna. You know what? Everyone take 5. I'll run to the restroom myself after I'm done with this.
It's cool. I'm gonna go smoke an actual cigarette while my vape is charging. Because I want to die of cancer.
Wow. How did I get that? This is gonna be something. Da, 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 da.
Hello?
I am here. Who's there?
I am.
Oh, Mike. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Okay, I'll. Give me a second to write this down real quick.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
All right.
So, what is this? Oh my god. I freaking mute it, and then out of nowhere, I hear, oh my god. And just like, I ran over here to try to figure out what the hell
He
happened.
just felt like saying, "Oh my god."
I guess I don't know.
He was excited.
Yeah, I'm actually fairly excited. So,
Yeah, I got really excited.
Mike,
What's up?
do you need any help with creating a character?
I've actually played this before, but I played a different version of it. I played Lasers and Feelings, but it's basically the same concept of character creation.
Okay. So
The only difference is it was space travel stuff.
So to give you a heads up on your fellow teammates, we have XY Star 943, who is a Hellforged Slayer, who is a demon. We have Sarah McKnight, who is a sexy necromancer, also a demon. On the demon side of things,
A lot of demons.
and we have Tutti Frutti, who is an edgy artificer, who is on the demon side of neutral. The organization is a creative organization with advanced weaponry, and their problem is that they have few members. So there's only you 4 that are part of this organization.
Cool.
All right, so give me a second. I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Get your character info, and
All right.
we can start.
So, what's up, Mike?
What's going on, man?
I literally got into this maybe 5 minutes before it started.
It's an extremely easy system. It's specifically made to be able to pick up and go ASAP. I think it's actually easier than Fate.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and it's a lot of fun if you know how to like do stuff on the spot and improvise and be creative.
And I'll tell you what, this is kind of perfect because we said that we had a fourth member that was our mentor. So
Oh,
Mike
really?
can come in and just play our fourth member that was our mentor,
Well, I'm not sure if
or
you want
or whatever.
my character to be a mentor because I was actually gonna play a dove.
That would
Oh.
be interesting. All
Yeah.
your party members betrayed the cause.
I was gonna play a fallen angel known as a Nephilim, who's a cleric.
That's interesting.
Ooh, I like that. I like it a lot. Maybe that's what we're aspiring to be. Maybe we are the bad guys. We're like the Suicide Squad.
That would be pretty cool, and I could be
You know what I mean?
Rick Flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's cool.
Come on, baby.
We
Let's
have
do
decided that we are the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad of Doves and Demons.
All right. So, wow. So, Mike,
What's up?
you have a name for your character?
That's the only thing I do not have. Restore. Where the hell is it? Okay. Restore the world. I told these guys I'm going to play a angel known as a Nephilim, and he's actually going to be a cleric. And he's a dove.
Wow. All right. So a Nephilim. Wait. Yeah, a Nephilim cleric.
Mm-hmm.
And what would his stat be?
I put him at a 7,
Ay. All right.
and he
Clear.
can fly, but his basic thing is healing.
So he's clearly a good guy.
Oh yeah.
The only one in the group.
Well, that's based off of your definition. It could because he
The only
is a
dove. The
fallen
only dove.
angel.
The
Yeah.
only dove.
Yeah.
Compared to your compadres there.
This
Well,
is a
so
true
what
story,
we
Hefe.
had decided, or at least me and Corey, was that we were like the bad guys, like on our way to that sort of enlightenment or whatever.
Mhm.
Like if we have him as a mentor, he's like trying to rid us of our old ways and like bring us to the light.
It's a Suicide Squad ripoff, straight up.
Okay. I just.
Well,
We-
technically, it's a resurrection squad because the world is dead anyway.
That's right. I'm
So you
a
can call
fan of
us
that.
The resurrection squad. See, we're doing all the work for you.
All right.
That's
so
why the
it's-
system's awesome.
we got. Let's do some good names: Asmodel, Virgil, Yabashel, Ioel, Tabris, Zachariel.
Virgil's always awesome. After Devil May Cry, that was always awesome.
I think I'm gonna go simple. I think I'm gonna go Ra, R-A-H.
Oh no, you didn't.
Oh yes, I did.
No, you didn't. Okay.
Oh.
Rah.
Ra.
All right, Rah.
Best god ever.
His battle cry
God.
is just screaming his name.
You can say that.
We'll see. All right. So, for your resurrection squad, right? You guys are from like a small safe haven, right? It used to be much larger, but you guys have been through the ringer. There's been all manner of failures in your group. You know, your group has been like every mission, more and more of you have died. very few ever come back from their missions. And as a result, this safe haven, the last bastion you guys know of humanity is just growing smaller and smaller. And the four of you are the last four fighting men and women left in this last haven. And there's always a call, like a subtle call to action. Something changes. Maybe it's the direction of the wind. Maybe it's something carried by a sound. Maybe it's something you see. Ms. McKnight, what is the thing that calls you into action?
It'd be it would be the death of my former lover. It was the only man that I had ever loved, and I witnessed him die right before my eyes. And since then, I have been fighting tooth and nail to end all these creatures and beasts and demons that are ravaging our world, to try and rebuild it so that one day I could bring him back.
All right. Tootie, what was your call to action?
To be fresh and fruity.
I don't think I'm gonna get used to being called that throughout this.
You named your character Tutti Frutti.
My call to action would have been self-righteousness. The idea that if I do to bring everybody back, I can be like the new god of the world and pretty much make everyone love me and punish those who don't.
Oof. Speaking about the new god of the world, what was the call to action for one of the old gods, Ra?
I believe my call to action was to restore humanity, because without the faith and belief of humans, our power diminishes daily.
Very, very interesting that your goal would be to restore humanity, but one of your compatriots is XY star 94, a Hellforged. So Hellforged, what was your call to action?
943 was forged in the hells, and he was given one purpose: to kill. He was an enforcer for a demigod. A god that was part human but also part demon, and he was made to protect him. He was his personal guard. And he didn't do his job well because his maker and the demigod passed. He's now followed the earth, looking to find a new source to protect, a new source to help, and he came across Ra, and he saw him as the god in which he was, coming from upon high, and thought that he may be able to change his ways.
Very interesting. So, the four of you united in your endeavors to help mankind, to rid the world of the hells and horrors that have befallen the planet. You leave yet again, another day, on another journey, leaving Haven behind you. There are two roads out of Haven: the road of salvation and the road of lies. Ra, what does the road of lies look like?
The Road of Lies is a broken up brick road with a bunch of hands that are preaching over the sides, and anybody that passes over it hears whispers and tones of people that they knew. It could be family members, it could be friends, it could be colleagues, compatriots of battle and war, and they're telling them things to get them to step off of a path.
The road of salvation. What does that look like, Tootie?
The road of salvation, or at least in my eyes, is the faint yelling of my name from thousands of people screaming my name, worshiping my name, loving me. But that image would slowly fade as the reality of what the Salvation Road is. It's a hard, jagged-edged road, not one easily to pass through, with sharp spikes coming through it, very narrow in nature. Blood probably being on the spikes from those who have tried to save civilization in the past, but failing to walk the road purely.
So, standing on the fork of these two roads is a grizzled old hunter. The four of you know him as the old hunter Braun, the one who often ushers you into your expeditions, your journey, your trips of death. This man is ancient. He's ancient beyond ancient. Even you, Rod, cannot fathom how old he really is. But for all intents and purposes, he looks human. He's robed in rags with patchwork pieces of old armor. Armor forged from worlds gone by. He stands silently at the fork between the road of lies and the road of salvation. Very often he remains completely silent. He starts to extend his hand very slowly outward towards the four of you, and you can see, much like you have seen before, from one of his satchels, a faint light and a vine growing out. The vine winds around his outstretched arm, ending in his palm, and there are four small fruits that are grown. It is customary for you to take these fruits and consume them before your journey. These are the fruits of knowledge, fruits that will guide you and show you what your next endeavor will be.
So I take it that telling him being a carnivore isn't acceptable in this situation.
Oh, the fruit? The fruit has a different taste for everyone. For you, it may taste like flesh. For someone else, it may taste of berries. For yet another, it may taste like passion fruit.
What about people that can't taste?
For you,
Or
you
even
may
possibly confuse food?
you may just garner the knowledge from the fruit.
Okay.
Grabbing this fruit from this man, looking down at it, whipping back his hair as if there's not a care in the world. Slow motion takes over as it does. Little stars kind of going around as he does it. He says, I don't know if I should eat this for now. At this moment, the worship of myself shall guide me. And he'll take it and stuff it in his bag, but not eat it right away.
And just as you're about to feel as if you're about to put it in your bag, you feel that metal hand in which you've felt more than once. Mostly because he likes to poke you in the face. But he grabs you by the hand and takes the fruit and looks at it and goes, if this is meant to have knowledge, and 943 looks at Ra, how am I to consume this? My God.
He just turns and he looks at him and he says, I do not know.
And it looks as if he has a mouth, and he takes the fruit that he has taken from Tutti Frutti, and turns and goes, that doesn't comply. And instead of sticking his finger in Tutti Frutti's face this time, he stuffs the fruit into Tutti Frutti's face.
All right.
Man, I'm gonna have to fix that glitch of yours one of these days.
And then what glitch?
Don't worry about it. 943. As he wipes his face of this, tasting it, seeing as it had already touched his lips, and
do you feel smarter? Smarter.
Getting the taste of home, getting that Friday night mom's home cooked meal that you wait for all week, touching his lips. He begins to grab everything that he wiped off of his face and scarfing all of it down. And in that moment, do I feel any smarter?
I'll let you know in a second. Nobody else has eaten the fruit, but at this time, with the display of teamwork that the four of you are currently illustrating, old Hunter Brahm grumbles, almost as if to say, to express his disappointment that this is all these people have left to defend them. And he turns and begins walking down the road of lies. He seems to get, 20, 30, 40 feet further with every blink of the eye, every time you take your gaze away from him. He's just instantly further until he's completely out of view. Does anybody else consume this fruit? And if so...
Yeah, Sarah. Sarah, while the bickering was going on, just would have rolled her eyes and kind of gone around them and taken one of the fruits and just began plucking bits and pieces of it and off and throwing them into her mouth.
What does the fruit taste like for Sarah?
I think it changes every piece. It starts out really sweet, like fruit would, but as the there becomes less and less of it. It actually takes on a more bitter quality till the very last bit, and it's almost like taking like pure lemon extract and just pouring it into your mouth.
So much in the way this fruit tastes mirrors Sarah's love affair with the love of her life, it seems.
Yeah, I would say that I look to the old man before he leaves, and he goes, "We need two more fruit, two more fruit, for me and the
Well,
god."
yeah, he wouldn't have left before you guys all took your individual fruits.
Yeah, and he would have the two fruit in his hand, and he would hand one to Ra, and he contemplates for a moment, and he says, "I think I have the solution." And in the center of his chest, almost Iron Man style, there's a core. And he pushes a couple buttons on his arm, and the core opens up, and he forces the fruit into the core. Now, again, he can't taste. He's never eaten a thing in his life. He doesn't need to eat. But what the feeling that he gets is the feeling of hatred and the feeling of despise. And that lasts for a moment. And then, much like Sarah's fruit, it kind of goes from the opposite. And he feels warm inside. Almost something that he's never felt before, except for when he's malfunctioning. Not malfunctioning. And he looks to Ra and says, "I guess you're the last, my god. God."
Slap in the back of the head. No. he just takes it and he hangs on to it for the moment, and he looks at the other three before taking a heaping bite out of it, and kind of like Terminator 2 style, you get that scenery with the kids on the playground and parents pushing kids on swings and people going across jungle gyms and stuff. And then as he's finishing it off slowly, you see that heat wave off in the distance creeping up until that final bite, and it encapsulates the entire scene, charring frameworks into just standing skeletons that crumble away and corpses, and then it slowly fades to black until the four is standing there once again.
All right. So now that all four of you have eaten this fruit of knowledge, you're washed over with a sensation of overwhelming power, an overload of information, things that fly past your consciousness far too fast for you to latch onto, until you guys begin to latch onto singular images one by one. And you all see this as if your consciousness for all four of you individuals are now as one. The world before you has bled away. And you can see, surrounded by flames, this massive monstrosity. It appears to be a much larger construct in a similar design as 943, another Hellforged, but this was much more monstrous, much larger. It seems to have the plates of a Hellforged forged on to the body of a god, the corpse of a god. It's rotting flesh peeling off and burning under this metal. It's far too large to see what god this was. Also, in your visions of this creature, it seems to be standing above a burning safe haven, burning city. There are people there, but they're not running away. They're standing before this god, awaiting his voice. It resounds. You don't know what it says. You can't hear what it says. You just get this feeling. You get the knowledge of its intent. And it seeks to make a contract with this safe haven, this bastion of humanity. Your bastion of humanity, actually. And you get a vision into the machinations of its mind, of what it's aiming to do. Something about this contract will reset the world to a time long before the apocalypse, long before the gates of hell opened, to a time long before there were any gates of hell, to where the world itself wasn't fully formed, to a time where it was little more than a smoldering ball of fire and magma. That is the knowledge of your journey. This is the thing that you must endeavor to stop. And then the vision breaks. You again get brought back to the world. The sights of your city behind you, and the road of salvation, and lies before you. What do you do? The stunned silence in the air.
Yeah, good.
That
That's some shit.
what does that mean? That looks a bit like it was for. It looks like it was forged, but it's so large. I've never seen a construct that large.
You ain't kidding.
I think Sarah would be standing there, and there would actually be like misty-eyed, almost like she was about to cry, but isn't, and just kind of staring off into the distance.
Man, after seeing all of the different pictures as they rapidly go through Tootie's mind, it feels like hours that these images and these moments have played inside his head, coming to the realization that he's back staring at this fork in the road, just kind of overwhelmed at everything that has kind of happened. Kind of trying to avoid talking about it. He's just going to be like, so are we going left or right? And wait for a response.
Best direction is forward. Forward only.
Ra reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a coin, and it's not just any coin. It's a coin that has a silver side and a gold side. And I believe I'm actually going to do the first roll of the game that has nothing to do with an actual action. So odds, we're going to go left. Evens, we're going to go right.
So we're
Ain't that some
saying
shit?
left is salvation, right is lies.
Yeah. So I got a 10. So that's evens. So I submit that we should go right. And he twirls a coin in between his fingers as he looks at the other 3.
For someone who is a god, doing air quotes, is that how you decide the fate of humanity? A simple coin toss? No wonder your reign has ended.
Whoever's told you I was a god.
What does everybody else think?
Bum bum bum.
Well, aren't you?
I
You
never
appear
said
to
I
be
was.
one.
As a matter of fact, how does Ra look?
He kind of looks like Archangel from the Four Horsemen. He's got the silverish wings, but they're not exactly metal. And he has that blue skin with like leather patchwork-esque thin armor. But besides that, humanoid.
And while they're kind of going back and forth about, being a god, and Fruity is kind of questioning Ra about his divinity, Sarah would roll her eyes and poison your egos and start walking actually down the path of lies.
Ooh, nice. So is yeah.
As it seems as if the only decisive person here is Sarah, and XY's only purpose is to serve. That is the person that is being the most distinctive at this point. So he also follows down the road of lies.
Ross shrugs and just follows.
As they kind of walk down the path, you see Tootie staring at the two paths as they kind of start to walk down the path of lies. Almost as if he was lost in thought, coming back to that realization, not really paying attention to which way they went, but realizing they had went a specific way, and kind of runs after as if like he had agreed.
Okay, so as the four of you, looks like we lost Mike. Hopefully he'll drop back in. Yes, he does. Wonderful. So
There he is.
as the four of you make your way down the path of lies, this path has a lot of cracks in the road, as you said. There's these hands reaching out. And the hands, they look humanoid. They look like they have 5 digits. They're really dark and like covered in dirt and just grime. But as they reach out for you from time to time, you notice that they're actually vines wrapped together in such a way that makes them look like human hands. And you guys can all hear these whispers all around you. It's consuming you. Like, the voices are almost like a physical barrier. You can't help but hear these things. You can't move forward unless you give in to these voices. Sarah, tell us a lie about XY.
And the lie that, well, does Sarah just hear this, or does everybody hear this?
Everybody hears it, but I'm giving the narrative control to you.
Okay. So we would all hear these whispers that XY is in league with the being that we saw in our vision. It was sent to infiltrate and corrupt us from within. And that if we don't destroy it now, then he will surely destroy us later.
Wow, that's heavy. XY. Tell us a lie about Ra.
All right. He's not the righteous, the clean God, and what he wants that he portrays to be. He was kicked out of heaven. He was not asked to. You know what I mean? He didn't leave on his own. He's a fallen angel, absolutely, and it's all of the righteousness that he tries to push upon us is all crap.
Okay, so Ra, you're actually not a fallen angel.
Apparently, I've been through some shit.
Sorry, it was easy.
I mean, he introduced himself in the character concept as a fallen angel, but that's a truth.
I didn't say that it was true. You just said to.
Okay, so that's that. Tootie, tell us a lie about Sarah. I mean, no, Ra. Tell us a lie about Tootie.
A lie about Tootie, huh? Tootie, fresh and fruity. I know your real name, and it's not Tootie. We've actually met before I fell from what I call the Graceland. Others might call it heaven, Nirvana, Valhalla, take your pick. But I know that that's not your real name.
All right. Tootie, tell us a lie about Sarah.
Sarah was the one who killed her husband.
Oh, snap!
Oh shit! Ain't that some shit?
And that's it for this week, guys. Tune in next Monday to find out if it's true.
Okay, so traveling.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
the thing is that lie that what y'all hear probably isn't the first time that y'all have thought that.
So
Because
walking,
this girl is a whole lot of crazy wrapped up in a whole lot of pretty.
I heard that line before.
So yeah, walking down the road of lies, all of you hear these lies about yourselves, about each other, about the people you're walking with, and the lies are of course as follows. The voices tell you that Sarah was the one that murdered her lover, that XY is actually in league with the monstrosity that you're charged to stop, that Ra is not righteous at all, that he was kicked from heaven, but that Ra met Tootie before he was kicked from heaven and knows Tootie's real name. So you guys are leaving. You're not preparing to, fight this thing at all. What are you guys wielding as a group? Like, how do you guys look? What do each one of you, like? I know XY is some weird anime Iron Man mecha. Like we've garnered that much, and that Ra is inspired by Archangel. But other than that, being from a creative organization that has advanced weaponry, like, how do you guys, look? What does your loadout look like? We'll start with XY.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He certainly looks like a futuristic robot, such as is displayed on my screen at this point. You're probably seeing it. I've got a different one coming up here in just a second. But I mean, all of his weapons and everything are all internal. His hand turns into whatever weapon it wants. His chest will sometimes shoot out beams of laser and light. It's his feet at times turns into skates so he can move faster.
Okay.
That almost looks like wings on his back, but they're not wings. They're more like a rocket booster that can give him, a boost when he needs. Very much silver, black, and red, for anything that is the core, or maybe his would look like to be where his eyes should be. He is probably larger than everybody else. I'd say he's probably somewhere between 7 and 8 feet tall. He just kind of walks along, and there's a thud every single step that he takes.
All right. And how does Sarah look?
So I'm gonna screen share the image one more time while I'm kind of giving this description.
Okay.
Just because it would help me and maybe everybody else. I believe y'all are seeing it.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right. So, and this is pretty much the outfit that she would normally wear. She's got this corset that she always wears. There's not like a lot of places that she would hide weapons, mostly because she really doesn't like bulky things. But she has essentially a maxed out taser that she uses. That fires these little pins and that will electrocute whatever they hit. And it puts out like these little darts at very high velocity, very high speeds. They can stick into stone, they can stick into wood, and mostly because she doesn't want to. Not in all cases, but a lot of the time she doesn't want to just straight up kill whatever it is, because something that she always carries with her is this little leather pouch, or more so like a leather band that's rolled up, and inside of it are all of her necromancy tools. So she has a couple of different kinds of scalpels and a couple of different kinds of bone saws and things of that nature that she loves to use. So she likes to electrocute people and essentially paralyze them or things, whether it be, werewolves, demons, anything, and essentially dissect them while they're still alive. She doesn't really like to get into hand-to-hand combat too much.
So, basically, what I'm looking at is a picture of, for anybody else that might be watching, an exceptionally voluptuous, barely covered corset wearing, long red haired woman that has maybe, considering that this is the beyond the end of the world, faux roses.
Yeah, probably. They're not real. They die too quickly.
And then we move on to Tutti Frutti.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Yes. How does Tutti Frutti look?
I did screen share something so that way you guys can kind of see. This is his facial expression 95% of the time.
Eyes
It's-
basically closed, upset looking.
Yep.
It's kind of
It's
like
kind
Kirsten
of-
Dunst angst.
He has this consistent look, but every time he opens his eyes, everybody who sees him can't help but do the ah. I'm taking this anime thing really far. I know, leave me alone.
No, leave me alone.
Having a brother who has taught him everything he knew about herbs and metals and everything, teaching him how to use these things, using his personal time to be able to learn how to make weapons and armors and different things like that. He's began to be irritated with the people that he encounters very easily. He has this kind of like satchel thing that is made out of metal that conforms to his leg, where he keeps all of his weapons that he made himself. You can see the welding spots in it and the rivets that were put into it to hold the metals together, so that way he can hold all of his stuff. Underneath his robe is a new armor that he had made on some of his free time. It's a very thin but durable metal. Just because you brought up Captain America, we'll go with adamantium that he had found while he had wandered the world after the apocalypse happened, and beginning to learn about this metal and realizing its strength against pretty much everything that he had ever encountered. So he has a very thin sheet of that underneath his robe, just because he's an anime, esque character. I can't not say that he has a katana strapped to his side.
Okay.
Are there guns in this, or are
Yeah,
we?
sure.
Okay. We're go with the katana on the side, and go Samurai Jack and say he has the machine gun on his back.
All right. Oof.
I would probably say that that Fruity actually is the one that designed and made Sarah's high-powered stun gun just for her.
Definitely. Before, when we had first met, we spoke about her dead husband and the violence that she had said that had happened to him, almost in excruciating detail, where as if she did commit the murder herself. But that going over his head completely, decides to make something a custom for her, so that way she will never have to encounter such horrible things in the future.
Yeah, and like how you brought up that, in that excruciating detail, it wasn't one of those things where she was bawling her eyes out and she was coming to you in confidence. It was more like just brought up that, yeah, I watched him get ripped limb from limb. There was approximately 4 liters of blood at one point that just kind of splashed onto me. And there's that like twinkle in her eye, like a little bit of excitement that she gets whenever she starts talking about blood and body parts. It always happens. There's always that little bit of excitement and that high-pitched voice like, ee!
All right. Ra. How does Ra look, and what's his sort of, advanced weaponry loadout?
Well, basically that picture, but it's all in his wings. Like there's some type of metallic material, and the inside seems more reflective. The outside is definitely armored. When he isn't flying, it's wrapped around him, kind of like a trench coat. And he can expand it out for protective purposes for himself or for others. So he's more of a defensive healer type at the very least at first glance.
I'm sorry, like, what popped in my head, like, looking at that, hearing what you're talking, and the fact that you guys are, like, creative with advanced weaponry and stuff, I don't know, like, the fact that your wings become a trench coat, I'm imagining them being some form of, like, really advanced, like, divine technology, where they're, like, semi-sentient nanites and stuff.
I would say if they had a whole clone in them, it would definitely take a couple of rounds, but they could slowly start to reform. I'm not gonna go all out and be like, "Oh my god, it's instantaneous," but over time.
All right, so I'm gonna push your improv skills, gentlemen. You guys travel this road, right? You hear all the lies. We now have a better picture of how the 4 of you look. But let's get a better picture of how the world looks when you emerge from the other side of the road of lies that you've traveled. You see a vision of the world that, for the 4 of you, looks normal. You guys are used to this. It's been like this forever, maybe as long as you guys have been alive, or at least some of you. But for us, the players, the people involved in the meta of this thing, there's some really off and odd aspects. This time I'm going to go in the opposite order. Ra, what is something weird about this world that you can share with us?
I would definitely say that the first aspect would have to be that the sky's red, and it's not just like a cascade of colors and whatnot. It's almost as if like there's a pulse, and say like, you ever see those types of storms that when the lightning strikes, like it scatters through multiple clouds and it kind of looks like a white version of a vein.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So picture like if somebody's skin was turned inside out, and instead of blue veins exposed to air, it's white.
All right, so it's a red sky with kind of
Fleshy
semi-luminescent,
tones.
white veins and stuff.
Yes.
Wow.
And
nice.
Instead of clouds like passing by, it's just kind of like pulses, like it's a heartbeat. But it's in all different spots, and it's ever changing.
All right, so
that's sick, dude. No,
It's perfect.
It's awesome. It's sick. It's so good.
That's perfect. So you have this. You exit into the world, and the sky above is different tones of reds. Maybe there's a few greens and blues, very fleshy tones. The sky may even look wet.
And instead of thunder, it's like
It's like a heartbeat. It's like the ever beating heart of the world is
Yeah.
what is above your heads. Right?
most of the time it's pretty low, but at times when it like cracks thunder, it's like
So, Tootie, what is some odd thing that's odd to us, but not to your characters, about this world?
As we enter,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
I heard that music and it was perfect, dude. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it just started as you were about to answer.
It's so good.
I'm sorry. It goes low and then somehow it magically raises slowly but surely. I can't control it anymore.
Do you hear any of us upset about that, bro? It's all good.
All right. So what is an aspect of the world? Our immersion isn't broken. Our immersion isn't broken. We're still here with you. What's an aspect of the world that's really odd that you could share with us?
It would have been almost normal to see from being here for so long. But you see as goblins and minions of different sizes jump on what would have been corpses or people at one point. Kind of just pretty much having fun in the destruction of what we now know as the world. Running amok, throwing the skulls of that they have picked up off the ground as if it was a snowball fight. Just throwing skulls of the dead at each other as they crash against each other and the walls and things around them.
So there's like a vision of these goblins and orcs and imps playing like children in this apocalyptic landscape.
Yeah, but with the limbs and skulls of those who have died.
What the hell? No. But
At least that one wasn't me.
yeah, I know that one was on purpose. That made it worse.
Yeah. No, that was good. That was the beginning of fucking Finn Balor's entrance music. That's awesome.
Oh no. But Sarah, I know you must enjoy the sky. You must feel like wanting to run down and play with the goblins and imps with all these body parts. But other than that, what is a off and weird aspect of this world that the four of you find normal?
This really is a necromancer's world. Just
It
saying.
really is. It's the atmosphere, the air that's around us. It's everywhere we go. Even inside. Inside you can't see the beings outside throwing the body parts. You can't see the sky, but inside you can still feel the air. And it's this pressure that feels like it actually doesn't cause harm to you, but it feels like you're being imploded at all times. It's just this enormous feeling of pressure all around you. And it's extremely uncomfortable, but to us, it's kind of become normal, but it's still in the back of our minds. We always feel that pressure.
So the atmospheric pressure is high and it feels very heavy, right?
Yeah.
I'm almost imagining that the pressure kind of responds to the pulses in the sky?
Oh yeah, that. So yeah, with every one of those pulses, it feels like you're getting hit with another one of these little waves.
All right. And XY.
All right. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because I didn't get a. For a second there, I wasn't getting the green blips on there, so I didn't think it was working. All right. So, the environment itself is what's kind of puzzling. Everything kind of has a bioluminescence to it. Everything, much to rip off Avatar, everything wants to kill you here. The plants are carnivorous. Carnivorous. No, sorry, that was a terrible word I said there first. And the air is heavy. There's all these unnatural to what would have been before beings around. But shadowed in all of that, there's color of every shape and color. I mean, and hue there. It almost looks as if you look from a distance, you're just seeing a rainbow. But it's everywhere.
So this is a vibrantly colored landscape.
It's so beautiful.
If it wasn't for
It's
all
so
the
pretty.
if it wasn't for all the death, the fleshy looking sky, the heavy air that responds to the sky's pulse, almost like if it's like if you were in the veins of some creature, and its heartbeat would increase the pressure. If it wasn't for all the goblins and orcs and imps and other creatures playing around with severed heads, skulls, body parts, femurs, if it wasn't for all of that, this would indeed be a paradise of sorts. So as you guys escape the road of lies into this would-be paradise, you can still feel the effects of the fruit of knowledge. As you guys begin to travel further away from the road of lies, through the landscapes, the orcs, the imps, the goblins, especially seeing Sarah drop the corpses and body parts that they play with, and they begin scattering, hiding under brushes, maybe even getting gobbled up by these carnivorous plants. You may hear a few of them yelp out in pain, breathe their last and whatnot. The world begins to fade away from you. This vibrantly colored world begins to grow gray and dark. And again, it fades away. It's gone from your vision. And you are again in this communal consciousness, knowing that it's still the effects of the fruits of knowledge that you had each consumed. And you don't hear a voice so much as just get this thought in your own minds, all of you at the same time, is that the lie, the biggest lie, is that the fork of the road does not tell you the truth. The road of lies was the road to the left. And every lie you heard was indeed the truth. So Sarah did murder her lover.
Dun, dun, dun.
XY is in league with the monstrosity. Ra was indeed kicked out of heaven or nirvana. And Tootie is not Tootie's real name and is much older than he would appear, as Ra knew Tootie before Ra was kicked out of heaven. And after that, yep, after that,
You bastard!
you can see in the distance, away from you, where you walked away from the road of lies, a large figure emerging,
Son of a bitch.
and it is indeed the corpse of a god rising in the distance.
He points and he goes, "See, that's the fucking god. That's the fucking god, not me."
Yes, and as you guys are seeing this in this communal consciousness, the world begins to fade back in, and you still see this. You can feel the ground rumbling, and the sky begins to pulse as if it's a heart beginning to race, nervous at this god's emergence. Beneath the feet of the god, you can see gouts of hell flame reaching upward. And you know, this god is right there, standing before the last safe haven, the only safe haven the four of you know. The one that your group has been dying, literally, to protect this whole time. And you get the sense that without his knowledge, XY led you guys away from the city. You guys all noticed that the god that XY was charged to protect and the human that created him to do this are actually this creature, as it's the god's corpse that died, in air quotes. It's the body of the god's corpse, and instead of the god's head, there is just a ring of metal, looking like a spiked collar with, iron spires that look like bladed hooks rising up, all reaching towards the sky, holding hellfire itself. And burning in the hellfires is the human that forged XY. And again, all being somewhat still connected to this communal consciousness, you all gain this knowledge. You know that you actually were walking away from this creature. You see it rise, and it turns, giving you its back. It's hundreds of feet in the distance, and you all remember the vision you had before. It's going to make this deal with the helpless and defenseless members of your community, because the four of you were the last line of defense they had. What do you do?
Well, I guess
You
hitchhiking is
bastard.
out of the question.
Yep, you can hear the sky just... It's pulsing, there's bright spots everywhere. There seems to be, instead of lightning coming downward, it just seems to be lightning flying across the sky above you.
Oh, look, Mommy, it's a shooting star.
Well, what did the four of you do?
You bastard! As I go to 943 or 934?
XY went 943.
943, shaking him like, why would you do this to us? We need to survive. We need to make things right for once.
I'm not sure what you mean. I thought
All right,
that
screw
maybe
this. Is PvP an option here?
If he knew that was wrong, he wouldn't have done it in the first place and pulled the George Costanza. Just saying.
Okay, but seriously, is PvP an option here?
This is a story. We're just telling a story.
Could Sarah try and stealthily? I assume I would think that she has a scalpel that is her favorite.
Dun, dun,
That she
dun.
That's why what?
She probably has it kind of like a gun holster. It's just on her hip, But I kind of want to like stealthily like unhook it and grab it and like kind of just hold it in the palm of my hand by my side so that nobody can see it, because she's kind of contemplating that now that everybody knows that she killed her husband, that Tutti Frutti's brain would make an excellent brain for the body that she's been trying to build to be her new husband, because he's pretty smart. So, she's kind of contemplating that.
All right, so let's do our first actual roll of the night. Let's say this is a pretty demon action, because it's real devious and seething and plotting and scheming against your own allies. So a demon action, you have to roll above your score. Your score being a 3. Normally,
Yeah.
you would only roll a single dice, single die. A scalpel does not seem to be a very advanced weapon. You don't seem to be using it in any creative way. So roll a d10, a single d10, and if you roll above your score, you palm it, you get it, nobody notices anything. You still look
Okay.
as
Please roll
innocent as ever.
Please roll under.
Oh my god.
Humpty.
I rolled a 2.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I got this. So so as 2D is, or what is your name?
Wait, I have
Is the last question that he says to 2D.
Yeah, I have to say how the die goes wrong because of the
Okay.
Can I do this? Can I do this? I want to do this.
What? But where's my fun? You know what?
I guess you're just watching this, man.
You set it up.
I set it up. All right, Tootie, how does... Okay, Sarah's trying, like... All right, this is how it goes wrong, and however you respond, I guess is how you respond. With this gigantic hell-forged monstrosity in the near distance, about to reset the entire world to its formative stages. You see Sarah, you notice Sarah eyeballing you out of the narrow slits of your mostly closed eyes, trying not to care about anything. But something about Sarah's look is uneasy, right? And then Sarah, like, eyeing your skull and looks to her hip, and you trace her eyes down to this holster. And she you know that she's thinking, she's slick, she's probably, like, switching her hips, trying to be all sexy, and does it a little bit too much, and does like a Charlie's Angels like drawing the gun right before the pose.
We'll
That's
see.
how she draws, and it's a little evident. And then she tries to look inconspicuous about it and innocent, but you notice this whole thing. As a matter of fact, everybody kind of catches that. Like, that was a little bit obtuse of her, but yeah.
I think it was kind of like that instantaneous where just as soon as I'm shaking 943, I just see it out of the corner of my eye that she all of a sudden becomes very, finessey and probably like pushing out her chest a little bit so that way, the voluptuousness in front kind of shows a little bit more to keep
Distraction.
the fact that she has 3 guys around her, or attention up top. As her arms kind of go down, you kind of see the fact that I made the damn holster for her, and I know my own work, so I kind of see it as I notice her looking down at this holster and looking up at my head. And it's not even like eye contact. It's just like you can tell specifically that she's looking at the top of my head. It's like you can, like, there's no like eye to eye contact where usually if you look someone in their eye, you like smile or say something. because of that mutual, like, you see, you know, you make that eye contact. It's just that over compulsive disorder type look as she tries to pull this scalpel out of the holster. And you see as Tootie turns around very quickly, looking at Sarah. Don't you even think about it. We have other things we have to take care of. And then you see
What's she talking about,
Tootie
baby?
heading
She's
towards.
shaking those flesh bags again.
Flashbacks.
Let's get into a car accident. I want to see how well they work.
Well,
Terrible.
they're rather big.
No, but
Should be
as
padding.
Yeah, you start
as
hearing the
Tootie says this,
racing-
I head towards the big monstrosity.
Yeah. You can hear the crackling and the pulsing and the beating. It's almost like it wants those of you with hearts. It's almost like your hearts are beginning to beat in time and starting to race all on their own in tandem with the pulses of this sky. And I guess for XY, it's more like with every lightning strike, like his servos and everything surge.
Yeah. The stuttering, the mechanical stuttering gets worse. Absolutely.
So, Tootie, you're heading towards this monstrosity. You're running back towards the road of lies, and you know the road of lies was your only way to this destination. And now it's like crumbling and falling. There's hellfire sprouting out of the road of lies. Instead of the sound of
Looks like fun.
instead of the sound of whispers, you just hear screams of like hollers of pain. You can almost smell instead of like the vines that you saw, there is the smell of burning flesh. You know,
Ooh, I think I have something a little bit better than that. Seeing as they don't want me to go face this thing, he actually gets the vision of his future, of everybody trying to grab him, kind of like a pop star, you know, trying to reach and touch him, you know, running down to try to like slow him down. Not realizing the fact that the road is breaking beneath his feet so that way he can't reach his destination.
so
It puts this
Yeah.
vision of his head of everything going his way, letting him be the god of this new world, letting everybody be beneath him, reaching up for his quote unquote, you know, blessing.
So that's the vision that he gets. The rest of you see Tootie running, like disappearing slowly in the distance, and as you focus in on Tootie, you can see that he's running into the hellfire, and it seems like he's like carefully and recklessly jumping from like little cracks of just the remaining road. And instead of these hands, you see black humanoids, their backs kissed by this hellfire.
Tootie's hair flowing behind him flawlessly.
Of course.
Yeah, except that like the ends are starting to just get shorter as the heat is starting to burn the hair away.
Hell yeah.
And if and when you guys draw closer to the road of lies, you notice that these humanoid figures are just, you know, brambles and burnt, you know, like burnt out brambles, vines, like desiccated plant life that is just intertwined in such a way to make a humanoid form.
So XY would look at the other two and go, "Well, we should probably chase him. Why does he always run off?" And
Don't look at me. It's not like it was my fault this time.
oh, you mean with the shaking flesh bags? Every time you do that, it's always your fault. There, Sarah.
Oh, come
And he-
on. It's
and
not
he-
like
he switches.
even you look at me.
They are rather impressive.
She probably pushes him out more. Thank you.
And and then XY looks over to Ra and goes, "Well, we should chase him." And he picks up Sarah and kind of places her on his back. His feet turn into the skates as I said, as I stated before, and we take off like a rocket towards where whatever the hell that person's name is going.
All right.
As we're going, Ra, what is his name?
What is Tootie's real name?
Well, if I told you that, I would be cheating.
Okay.
As he up and takes off into the air, and he flies over both of them, and he's en route to fly up
All right.
behind Tootie.
So, the first thing that happens is, like, carried aloft and propelled forward by, these rockets. I'm assuming Sarah's probably getting her wide thighs just barely nipped by the heat of these rockets because you're also on XY's back. Now,
Oh, yeah.
XY, there's all the figures, as Tootie gets past them all, very carefree like, almost as if they weren't even there, embracing them, embracing them as he goes by, as if they were part of what he was doing. You see the remainder of them all turn to XY, to face XY and Sarah, and they begin running towards you guys. And at the head of this group, you see one of them, the vines, start moving independently of the motion, or in tandem with this motion of running. You can see them crawling and going up to the face. They begin to gain a semblance of color. Not nearly as vibrant and saturated as the colors around you in this world. Very, very dark, desaturated, grayish in tone, but enough so that it looks like the color of flesh. It looks like
home.
hair. It looks like there's eyeballs that these brambles and vines make. They're running towards you, and it jumps XY. It doesn't. You can tell that it's not jumping to grab you. It's jumping to grab Sarah, and you can hear the screams from this thing. Again, its back licked by hellfire. Sarah, you see the image of your lover in these vines, and you just hear your lover cry out, "Why?" as he tries to grab you. What do you do?
I imagine that I still have that scalpel, and I think like the whole time that we've been going, she's just been like, "Yeah," just enjoying this rush. And then the image pops out to her of her dead lover, and she just looks over to him and smiles, and just kind of flicks her wrist across what would be the neck.
All right, so that'll be the second roll of today. Definitely sounds like a demon roll. So you would normally get a 1. Again, there's no real. You're not being very creative with it, and you're not using a piece of advanced weaponry. But I will say that you're assisted by XY, since he's carrying you, the momentum. You have a
High
good footing.
speed, yeah.
Yeah. So roll 2d10.
Okay. Well, got a 7 for one, and I got a 1 for the other.
All right. So that's
Do you take the higher or the lower of the two?
You count how many.
well,
Well,
Or does it cancel each other out?
I believe that it's.
I think they cancel each other out.
Let's see, because there's.
All right, so really quick, a pause. Let me read the dice. Right, when you do something risky, roll a d10 to find out how it goes. Roll 1 die if you're prepared. Plus 1 die if you're prepared. Plus 1 die if you're an expert. The GM tells you how many dice to roll based on your character and the situation. Roll your dice and compare each die result to your number. So you have 1 failure and 1 success. Oh no. If none of your die succeed, you do have a success. So the failure doesn't count. Sorry. Again, this is the first time I'm ever running this thing. So you do succeed. You barely manage it. All right. So it says the GM inflicts a complication, harm, or cost. So with the momentum of being mounted basically on XY, you'll sever this head clean off, right? But this rapid momentum carries the head towards you, and it begins unraveling as you can still hear your lover's voice crying out, "Don't leave!" Right? And the vines will start lashing at your back. Still licked in hellfire. So your entire back gets singed by this fire, and your back catches alight. So now your back is licked in the hellfire, and the speed at which you're going is doing nothing but fanning the flames. Ra, when you go to fly over, right? When your trench coat morphs into these, glittery, silvery wings, and you take flight aloft in this red sky, I'm assuming your wings are catching the red hue of the sky itself.
Kinda.
This horde of humanoid-looking things making their way towards XY and Sarah. They were moving much faster than you. They make their way through, and as they plow through, the group begins to collapse in on itself, and all the humanoid figures begin to disappear into this mass of black vines that shoot up into this single massive hand, right? And you just hear, again, in this, like a cry of a mixture of pain, but a booming voice. It seems like the voice is coming from above you rather than below you. And it just cries out, the heavens are no place for you, as the hand attempts to grab you, Ra. What do you do?
I'm gonna first go into an invert so I can look up as soon as I heard the voice, and when I see that hand coming down at me, he just begins to spin, and the wings envelop him to the shape of a bullet, and he doesn't go as fast as the other two, but he goes slightly faster, and he's gonna attempt to get grabbed by it, but then burst out of it.
Okay, so that sounds like it's a bit of an aggressive action. It sounds like a demon action. But you're also using your advanced weaponry. And I don't know, do you guys think that this is a creative use of his abilities?
I mean, creative itself says that weird plans that seem to somehow work.
Okay.
So technically, it's a plan that really shouldn't work.
I think
but
it
Alright.
would be creative.
Cool.
And technology, so.
So, Ra, this is a demon roll, which means you have to roll above your score, but you're rolling with a full set of 3d10.
Oh wow. So I have to get. Is
Yeah, I'm
it
happy with that.
Yeah.
is it above or at and above?
Above your score is a hit, is a success. If you roll your score on the nose, it is a critical success.
So, my score is a 7, and I rolled a 7, a 9, and a 3.
You rolled a 7, a 9, and a 3. So the 3 doesn't count because you have at least one success, right?
Yes.
So you manage to spin. You get grabbed by this vine-like hand erupting from hellfires beneath you. You know, it grabs you and starts to pull you down as it just incinerates and becomes just these tendrils flying through the air. It almost looks like the hand was actually made of flesh, as it looks like it rains down blood and everything. The sky cracks open, and even the sky starts to cry tears of blood at this. And bathed in a silvery light, Ra, because you rolled right on the nose, right? It says if you roll your number exactly, you become the dove or demon. You gain a special ability to overcome the evil you face. If your number is above 5, you become a dove, allowing you to perform a miracle worked out with your GM. If your number is below 5, you can become the demon, allowing you to execute an enemy. If your number is 5 exactly, you can choose either benefit. So
I'm a dove.
you are the dove. You can perform a miracle, right? And I kind of want to say as part of this, as part as becoming the dove, I think this should also be reflected physically.
Okay.
And I think Ra would look more angelic.
Oh, of course.
Majestic.
That halo
flight.
is blazing now, and at like the tip of that point that he was spitting to, like that halo just emits this light that breaks up that shadowy, fleshy fist, and he just bursts out of it.
So now that you actually bear this halo of brilliance, this catches the creature's attention, and this hellforged monstrosity was had its body bowed over, much like it did in your vision, and it straightens up. Before the corpse of this god turns, you can see the humanoid figure turn around, and then the body follow afterwards. And again, like those of you who are on the ground can feel it rumble. Tootie more so than any other, because I'm assuming he gets there first. He's like at the foot of this giant, and I think the smell, not just the burning flesh. Maybe it smelled like barbecue. It smelled like smoked ham to Tootie, right?
Smoked ham.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's how burnt flesh.
Fuck
Kinda
turkey,
smells.
it's smoked ham.
No, that's how burnt flesh actually smells.
No, it's great.
But for Tootie, it was no thing. But now that Tootie is close enough to this monstrosity, you get the smell of a rotting corpse, of that dead flesh, wafting over you, and it snaps you back to reality. Just as this speedy XY, just closes the distance himself with the fireball that is now Sarah behind him. Again,
Fireball.
Sarah's entire back it's not only licked in Hellflame. With the speed you were traveling, she's ablaze in
Tattooed.
Hellflame. and Hellflame behind her. But yeah, the creature turns around, the ground rumbles. You almost get like at the foot of this creature, it's like it was composed of other bodies as well, and some of the body parts begin to fall, you know, as well, hitting the ground, hitting some of you, and the sky opens up and begins to cry tears of blood as, you know, Ra, bearing this brilliant halo, flies close to you guys, and the monstrosity begins to speak, or the human that is bathed in hellfire at the head of this monstrosity begins to speak. And it's not a booming voice. It's not a deep voice. It's not a growly voice. It is the voice of a child. And the child says...
Gilbert Godfrey.
No, it's the voice of a child, right? A young boy that says, "Stop this nonsense. You only perpetuate everyone's suffering. I am here to give everyone a new beginning, a new chance. Why would you doom yourselves and everyone you report to protect?"
Does that voice sound familiar to XY?
Oh, hell yeah. That's the voice of your creator.
Yep, I figured so. It's all the glitching stops, all of it, and for the first time that you guys have known XY, he seems the most normal. Not knowing that Sarah is a Roman candle on his back, he picks her up and places her onto the ground in front of him.
She
And then
immediately
drops
drops
to
to
a
the
knee.
ground and starts to roll, try to get this fire out.
Yeah,
Stop,
but
drop, roll.
and then drops to a knee and bows towards the creature.
All right, so you bow towards the creature. Sarah stopped dropping and rolling. I'm guessing trying to put out the fire. This would be a dove roll, even though it's a bit of self-preservation. You know, stop dropping and rolling is not a very creative idea since it's been around for a while. But you know, the inception of stop dropping and rolling, I think, is pretty creative. So I'd say at least 2 dice.
Okay. And I'm trying to roll below a 3, correct?
Yes.
Good
Come
luck.
on.
Well, you've done it twice already.
I rolled a
You get
3.
7 and 8.
Oh, you rolled a 3?
Oh, that's
One's a 10 and one's a 3.
Okay, so you crit it, which means you become the demon, right? So while you're rolling, your entire body seems to be consumed by this hellfire, and this blaze of just evil destruction and death. You start to get visions of everyone you murdered,
That's a lot of people.
right? I feel like the visions you're getting is that you've always murdered someone. You've always murdered a group of people to create your ideal lover, and then murdered your lover when you found that they weren't the ideal creation.
That's exactly what I was picturing.
This has been like an ongoing cycle for as long as you can remember, right? But in this cycle of murder, of killing both the living and the undead, and you start to gain visions of every other creature you may have killed, every other ally you may have killed during an expedition, and that have blamed it on one of these creatures. And somewhere in this vision, you gain the secret knowledge needed to defeat this creature. I'll leave that up to you, But again, I think I like the idea of you critting also having some sort of physical representation. So how does it look? How do you change a little bit, to represent the demon in you?
It's, I would say, as long as it's not too much, that this fire that was on my back spread to my hair, and the hair just went up in flames and stayed as flames, but also kind of traveled down my back almost into like this tail.
Nice. That's fine. It's perfectly fine.
But
So yeah.
Succubus.
So yeah, Tootie, at this point, you're snapped back to reality. You're smelling this horrifying smell of just intense death, and it does smell fresh. It's not old, and dry. It's like it's just in a constant state of rot and putrefaction. To one side of you, you have this creature, right, raining down body parts. Your hair is singed at the tips, and now it's raining blood on you. XY is kneeling before the feet of this creature, and Sarah is a light in flames. Her hair is in flame, and it doesn't look like she's burning. It looks like it's a part of her now. Behind you, you have Ra, who is now bearing this radiant halo. He's this brilliant beacon in the sky, making his way, flying towards you. Tootie, what is it that you're doing at this point?
Seeing all of this, as he kind of comes to terms with all the image that he had prior kind of fading, realizing that his hair got singed, kind of defeating like his look, I guess, that edgy look, probably ending up with kind of having hair like this, where it's all spiked up and completely gone. He begins to be enraged, pulling the machine gun that he had crafted himself off from his back, seeing all this change that had happened while he was away, being enraged by the fact that Sarah was the one who killed her husband, realizing that he had crafted a divine weapon for her to save her in the future, and realizing that was in vain. Seeing as I forget Michael's character.
Mike is playing Ra.
Sorry. Why would I forget that? Seeing Ra as
How did you forget?
he gains this halo, knowing everything that I know about our past, our present, and our future. Knowing all of this, it enrages him as he pulls this machine gun off, running up this thing's leg and pretty much shooting the machine gun into this thing's crotch area.
Okay, so that's
Fair enough,
definitely a demon roll. That's definitely a demon roll. You're using a handcrafted piece of, an automatic rifle crafted by your own hands. So I think that counts as creative weaponry. And I don't know how creative, shooting this creature in the crotches, but I just like that idea. So do a demon roll with a full 3d10.
Awesome. I figured it would be the crotch that gets me the full thing. Okay, so am I trying to roll under or over my demon?
A demon roll is over your score, and if you get your score on the dot, it's a critical success.
Okay. Well, I guess that doesn't. I got 2 8s and a 7.
Wow. 2 8s and a 7.
Yeah.
So you kind of fail spectacularly. You go to shoot it, and you're firing off the shots, right? But they all seem to be fairly glancing blows.
I thought you said over.
Shoot blanks.
Oh yeah. You're right. Sorry, my mistake. So you said you got 2 8s and a 7. That's 3 successes. I
was gonna say.
brain-farted like
So you're not
crazy.
shooting blanks.
Yeah, I just brain farted like crazy. I'm sorry. If 3 of your dice succeed, you get a critical success. The GM tells you some extra effect you get. All right. So, like, you're shooting it, right? And like, this god is asexual, right?
Come on! I was really hoping for the whole.
There's no like junk in its trunk, but when you're shooting at that area, something about your bullets, we'll say like you had high explosive ammunition loaded up, and it starts and it blows its leg out of its socket, and it begins to topple. So you see this humongous god's corpse begin to topple towards its right side, and you're running up its left leg. Seeing this,
If you
X-
check your
yeah, I was about to ask what XY is up to.
check your Facebook Messenger real quick.
Okay. Where is my Facebook? Yeah, what is it? I don't. It's this is just a story. Whatever
Yeah.
happens in the story.
So, taking the realization that this is his maker, XY looks at the creature that's damaging his maker and makes the unthinkable choice of his hand becomes a weapon that the creature that is attacking his maker designed to make him better, because when he first met him, his right arm was destroyed. It turns into what looks like almost a machine gun, such as what just attacked his maker. He turns and he shakes his head just a few times, almost looking as if he's trying to make a decision, and looks back up, and he hears that voice in his head, and that voice says, "Join me."
Oh my god.
And he can't escape it. If a robot could smile, he smiles. And he takes aim at Tutti Frutti instead of the maker.
All right. I mean, you're definitely
Sorry, buddy.
attacking with
I'm
an
sorry.
advanced weapon.
Can I roll like a? I guess technically in normal D&D it would be like a deck save, but some type of thing, so that way I don't get hit by this thing.
I guess if I succeed, then you get hit. If I don't, you don't. Right? Like that's how the system works.
Yeah. So, roll. You have 2 dice to roll,
2 dice in this one?
and I mean it's obviously a demon roll.
Yeah. So I gotta get over 3.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a 6 and a 10.
So you have 2 successes. If 2 of your dice succeed, you do well. Good job.
I put in work.
So
Wait, is that what it literally reads?
Yes, that's what it
Yeah.
literally reads.
Oh God.
So
basically, you're successful. It sounds like. So
yeah, your Tootie, you get peppered with like large caliber rounds. And all of you see this, right? You can see XY his arm transforming into this automatic rifle thing, and just rapid firing these large shots You're used to hearing the deep sounds of this arm cannon of his, but you're not used to those sounds being directed at the rest of you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely. And at first, it almost appeared as if he was trying to take out the legs of the creature, if the creature has legs per se.
Yeah, it does. One of the legs
But
was chopped
directly
off.
onto Tutti Frutti.
So yeah, Tootie, you're peppered. You're shot up right now. Like, you've got holes in your thighs, in your back, in your clothes. They're like nothing, no limbs were blown off, and no vital organs were hit, as far as you can tell. But all of you see, like, the back of Tootie's clothing and whatever armor he happened to be wearing, it's blown off, and you just see layers of flesh, like the muscle and sinew. You might even catch a glimpse of one of his ribs from the back, as he's just been shot up by XY.
Don't hit him in the head. I need that.
Not in the face, not in the face.
But mind you, the creature, like, falling still is speaking in this child's voice, and the child's voice is actually calm, even as this construct begins to tumble, right? Now, having its leg all but completely severed off. It says, look as your would-be saviors. Look at your would-be saviors. One embraces the hellfire. The other attacks his own ally. They seek nothing but destruction, and it's still toppling. The flames that bathe this child, wisping up into the air. It's still raining blood from the sky. The pulse of the sky is still, like, racing, as almost if the world is having a heart attack. Look at them fighting amongst themselves. They seek to end you all, but I seek to end your suffering. As you guys feel the earth quake as the body finally hits the ground. And Tootie, you fall off of the leg, all shot up, like, within mere inches of the end of your life. Ra, as you can hear this, right? You arrive in the scene, up in the sky, above everyone. You can see over the protective walls of the city. There is an audience gathered, and there seems to be flames inside of the city, and you can see the flames. It looks like the mirror image of what's going on outside, and the civilians in this city, this last safe haven that the four of you were protecting, are watching what's going on. So Ra, what is it that you do? XY turned on you, damn near killed Tootie, while Tootie, himself was putting in work, collapsing this monstrosity.
He lands next to Tootie, kind of like Superman-esque, with that, like, one fist and the knee, like.
She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. Superhero landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hear a tone, kind of like he has a microphone strapped to his throat, and he comes down ever so softly right next to Tootie, and he says, "My son will not fall this day. No. Ra Jr. will not fall." As he puts his hand on his shoulder and a light starts to emanate. And that scene from the first Guardians of the Galaxy when all the ships from Nova Prime are all interlocked, and it's kind of like that shield holding back Ronan's ship. He kind of forms like a sphere with his wings around himself and Tootie, and it starts to slowly expand out as there's a light that starts to emanate off of Tootie. And I'm probably gonna have to roll for this.
Well, you
To
do
see if I
have the
can
miracle you
actually
can
heal
perform.
him.
You,
Pardon?
You do still have that miracle that you can perform.
All right. Well, then his halo from his head kind of disappears, and it reemerges around Tootie's waist, like kind of like a belt made of light, and all of his holes have just turned him into Swiss cheese start to slowly close up again.
All right, so you save Tootie, reveal that Tootie is Ra Junior, your own child.
We'll call him Raju.
Right.
Roger, RAHJR for
Yeah.
Junior.
And you can kind of hear some cheering from the beyond the other side of the wall. You know, some of the civilians are starting to like cheer at you know that they're watching this through the Hell Flames screen, you know, through the images
high
portrayed in the
definition,
yes.
obviously.
And definitely in HD, in held definition. So
yeah.
That's so good.
oh, that
Hell
was not good. That was
definition.
cheesy as hell.
You better name this episode Hell Definition.
So now, Sarah, you can see the construct fall, right? Tumbles to the ground, and you catch it, right? You have that bloodlust, which is only perpetuated by this blood raining from the sky. You can see the child that was bathed in hellflame tumble to the ground and roll out of his position as the corpse of this body, this hell-forged monstrosity, falls to the ground. What is that Sarah does?
All right. So Sarah had the revelation of how to kill this thing. And it was, being a necromancer, she understands that to bring something back to life, to power it, you have to have a power source. And obviously this child was that power source. It contains somehow all this energy. Now with that in mind, I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on what that high-powered stun gun kind of actually looks like.
Okay.
So she has that one like hip holster that she pulled the scalpel out of. On the other side, it's a similar one that she sticks her hand into and comes out, and it's like this leather glove that's got these bits of metal on it and these prongs on the fingers. And she points it in the direction of the child that is laying just beyond where Ra and Ra Jr. are. And all 5 of these prongs shoot out, and there's like these wires connected to each finger.
Okay.
And they go out and they kind of spread out in the air. And they go out and they go past the 2 Ra's and then double back and start to twist around the 2 Ra's. And she is attacking both of them. Ra and Ra Jr.
Roger.
Oh,
She
golly.
has plans for this child.
All
Well, I
right.
did form a sphere around us.
I think you know what I think. I think like you might hear like right after the cheering, other like boos and other people cheering. Looking through this vision of Hellflame on the other side of the wall, the child begins to right himself up, and he's still completely bathed in Hellflame,
And blood.
and it's still raining.
Rained blood.
Still raining blood. As a matter of fact, the blood is never touching the child's skin, as it evaporates before it ever hits. Right.
Right on.
But Sarah's a different story. She's bathed in this, the blood rain. She has the hair of Hellflame that crawls down her back into a tail. The child walks up to Sarah. XJ walks towards the two of them, stands on the other side of the child, and you see Ra and Ra Jr. With these cords wrapped around them, looking, staring their fate in the eyes as like the camera pans out above what would be clouds above the earth, and everything grows to black, and all you hear is the beat of a heart. And we'll call that the end of today's Doves and Demons game.
Dun dun dun.
And evil wins! Yay!
Oh, gee.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting the party turning on the party, but what can you do?
He's the perfect mate. I mean, he's the perfect energy source. He powers himself. I don't have to do any work.
So, what did you guys think of the game today?
That was really interesting.
It was.
It's so fun. It's so cool to be that creative and like not have a stupid character sheet and all these things that we think we made ideals about to to have to follow. You know what I mean? Just to be able to play the narrative game rather than than to have to play the rules of a game.
Yeah,
This is amazing.
it's kind of always the rule of cool. You can set it up just about any way.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did you guys think of where it ended?
I mean, I preferred the one that I sent you because I thought that would have been badass. But other than that,
Well, I kind of like the fact that I found I don't know, what did I find? Did I find a bunch of flashbacks to hang out with? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, pretty much.
You've got your creator, and you're standing on one side of your creator is you, and on the other side is fleshbags.
Yeah.
What happens now?
Your stepmother.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I thought that was kind of fun. I was just
It was
really
cool.
bugged that everybody that like that the two of you turned on the other two of you.
Yeah.
Well, I kind
Apparently we had
of
it coming.
caught the pulse. Yeah, I kind of caught the pulse of what was happening here. So I'm like, oh, that's my creator. I'm absolutely gonna be turning on these motherfuckers
Yeah,
like halfway through the game.
I was kind of sorting like it looked like the combined narrative that everyone had with the lies was kind of really trouncing on each other.
Yeah. Now, what would have happened if we would have went the opposite direction?
I don't know. I completely improv the entire game.
Dude, I love
Okay,
that twist
okay.
with the lies. That was epic. I love that. That was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
That was really sick.
So I don't
really
know
sick.
what the other path was gonna go where.
It was gonna go to Walmart. It's all right.
Wait,
Yeah.
That's even worse.
that's like hell, though.
The path,
Well, it is
path
a
of
hellscape.
salvation
So,
in Walmart. Oh my goodness. That's horrible.
where there's only one line open and 100 people in line.
exactly.
Hell yeah.
It's a
And
self-checkout.
and the automatic checkouts is only one of those working.
And it doesn't work.
So
And every time you scan something, you have to have one of the associates scan their badge.
All right, look, gentlemen.
All right.
Hold on. We're still broadcasting live, so I just like.
Are
to,
we? Because it never says
No.
it says
I'm-
off air the
I'm-
entire time. For me.
This is Hangouts, but I'm using OBS to broadcast to Twitch.
Oh, nice.
That, with no video, so we don't have to worry about anything. We could just play, chill, hang out, and learn, learn the game and everything. But I would just like to point out that for anybody watching now or that might watch this in the future, this was Doves and Demons. It's a Lasers and Feelings hack by the minds of Point of Inspiration. You can go on their Facebook group, just type in Point of Inspiration. You'll find them there. You'll find a listing of Doves and Demons. They have a few of them now. Give me a second. It's Doves and Demons, Blood and Wine, and The Little Dance.
Blood and Wine. Yeah.
They're making more and more.
I'm gonna be playing in Blood and Wine. I'm so excited. They said they had 10 of them.
I'm going to be probably running some of these. Maybe Doves and Demons more because I do have that twisted side of me.
Mhm.
You
I
and me will
can't
get
wait.
along
I can't
great.
wait to run Blood and Wine. I
So,
can't wait to run that. It's gonna be so much fun.
I may run them all. Like seeing what they're doing, I'm going to have to harass Marquise to do to do the idea that I have, which is a Lasers and Feelings hack that is themed around a mythic version of the interaction between the South Americans, the Mayans and the Aztecs, and the conquistadors.
Oh,
wow.
that'd be interesting.
Like, I don't know if he did it. They said they had a bunch. I don't know if he did it or if he's planning on doing it or if I have to harass him to do it or do it myself. I don't know, but I think it needs to exist.
That'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, with that, if you guys, Jim and Josh, if you guys want to just tell us a little bit about the channel you have and what you guys are doing or plan on doing, feel free to take that opportunity.
Jim, you want to go first, or you want me to?
You can.
All right. Well, I am Josh. I am the founder of RPG Construct, and Jim is my co-founder. We are a new YouTube channel called RPG Enlightenment. We're gonna be doing a lot of different things through various RPGs, Doves and Demons, D&D, and throughout time we'll probably do, or at least try to get to all the different ones. I know Jim and I are planning on buying every single RPG on Drive-Thru RPG at some point in time.
All of these.
Yes, all of them.
All of that. Really?
According to Jim, he
Like,
wants
really,
to
really?
buy all of them.
All of
You
them.
know-
I want them all.
What are you, Anakin Skywalker, and you want to, do you want to see them all? Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yes.
Apparently, he wants to resurrect some sort of, loved one from, the birth of his two children. I don't know.
That's awesome.
But we are a new YouTube channel called RPG Enlightenment. We have a couple videos out there now. We're going to be making a few more this week and within the coming weeks and months. But Jim, you can take us from here.
We pretty much what we're going to be doing on RPG Enlightenment is we're trying to bring new players in and teach them about the different kinds of RPGs out there. That some of the more famous ones like D&D isn't the only kind. There are thousands of them out there, and I really didn't realize that at first.
Today.
And it's just there's so many out there that you can play, and there's different styles. You will find one that you like, and we really want to portray that to people. So we're going to be trying a bunch of different systems and going over them on the channel. That's really what we're about over at RPG Enlightenment, is getting the different systems and their content out there.
All of them, apparently.
All of them. Got to have all of them.
Corey, is there
Gotta
anything...
catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Corey, is there anything you would like to plug or extol the virtues of?
Well, you know what I mean. The first thing I want to do is I want to thank Point of Inspiration for creating such a great system that we were able to
Absolutely.
exploit this evening. The next thing I would like to thank is Infinite Roleplay, because as I was joking about earlier, he's the infinite master. So it's I know he went into hiding for a while, but it's nice to have you back in the fold, my friend. Hopefully one day I get to see them Saturday morning D&D. So it's I do have a channel. It has one video on it that nobody can ever see because it's private. But I do plan on as the summer gets closer. I am a newer gamer, I'd say. Within the last 2 years is when I've really gotten buckled down in this whole RPG gaming thing, and I've just now gotten the confidence that I think I need to be able to actually run a game. So I'm going to be starting to run kind of a little bit like the other boys are doing. I'm not going to be running 5e. I've got there's so many other fun systems to be showing. The one that I've been looking at a lot and really liking and want to start trying is Blades in the Dark. So certainly I'm going to be jumping onto that bandwagon, and come check me out. It would be great.
All right, Mike, is there anything you'd like to plug or extol the virtues of?
Extol the virtues. I don't really have.
Did I even say the name of my channel? I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, Mike, but
right.
I don't think I said the name of my channel.
Oh,
the name of my channel is Beautiful.
Your channel.
The name of my channel is Beautiful Disaster RPG. So it's that would have been really hard to find if you didn't know where to look. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, that's all right, man. I don't really have a channel, but I've actually played for a very long time via either on here or on other Facebook groups or G+. I've either GM'd or played, and I actually saw that Chelsea and Chris
Marquise
helped put this RPG together, and I didn't even realize that until about half into it. So I think the two of them are excellent players and GMs in their own right as it is. So again, thanks to them and the people at A Point of Inspiration. The other thing with this RPG enlightenment thing that I'm hearing about, you guys are 100% correct, and I've been purchasing things off of RPG Now and Drive Through RPG for a very long time now, and there's all different types of genres, from Wild West to cyberpunk to superheroes to anything you could possibly imagine. There really is a niche for everybody, and there's something that can get everybody hooked into this type of gaming. So again, thanks to all of you. Thank you very much to our GM this evening. I think he did an excellent job. I've only played in 2 other types of this style of gaming, and both of them were Lasers and Feelings, and I think he did an excellent job. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I am going to stop streaming now, so everybody, bye-bye.